Divorce is really hard. I thought I could talk about this. I didn't realize how raw it was. And I did not expect fucking having a New York City office that I'm commuting into to stir up all of these feelings. I thought I was so past this. I moved out 2 years ago. And I'm not.
When the lion roars, jungle train.
This 53-year-old woman divorced her husband and is now on social media crying.
It's day 4 of commuting as a divorced gal. I forget that commuting is like really tiring. It felt really different to commute back and forth to the city and not to come home to my big ass house that I used to live in and to come home to my small apartment. Before, I used to get into my car and drive home to my house, and my husband would be there and my son, and now it's my plants. I'm complaining, but it's like, ma'am, this is what did you think? Like, you ended your 24-year marriage. You sold your 5-bedroom house. You sold your dream to try a whole new life. And I'm fully in that whole new life now. And even though I've been in it now for a couple of years, renting my apartment, it's still not adjusted. And I thought it would feel more natural by now. And I guess I'm getting there. And when am I gonna get there? Why aren't I there yet? So like tonight, for example, 3 of my best friends are coming over, and it's different entertaining an apartment versus your house. Like, I don't have all my shit anymore. I used to have like cabinets where I would keep all of my napkins. Like, I had napkins in every color and all the plates and all the silverware and all now I'm like, I don't know where anything is anymore, and I don't even own those things anymore. Now I barely have matching glasses. Like, when you get divorced, you split up all your shit, right? And then you have to go through stuff and you're like, oh, I don't need this. And the platters that I have, I don't use. My refrigerator is just filled up with like flavored seltzer now. But I know my friends don't care, but it's just like a mental, it's different. It changes the whole experience. I want to have everything like nice and pretty and, I don't know, perfect for them. And they're showing up to just imperfections on imperfections, and they've been over before. I have to just go with the flow, right? I have to just not care about those things now because I know they don't matter, but I'm not gonna lie, like, it was really nice to be able to have people over and just to have everything like beautiful and perfect and matching and being able to go and sit outside in my backyard. Or now I don't have that. Now my kitchen is my living room, and my living room is my kitchen, which it's just room. I'll make it work, but I would be lying if I didn't say that something about this week that's making it really hard. And girl, you gave it up. Happy now? And I know nobody's saying that to me, right? Nobody's saying that to me except me. So maybe I need to stop saying that to me. Like, yeah, I did give it up, and I gave it up for lots of good reasons. And I put a lot of thought and care, and I did not make a frivolous, knee-jerk decision.
You all hear her complain about the things she misses from her marriage. This woman left her husband willingly. He did not ask for a divorce. She no doubt thought the grass would be greener after the divorce at 53 years old. Apparently, the Disney version of marriage was not what she had, and no one told her that marriage requires work. A marriage isn't going to automatically make you happy. You have to find ways to build that happiness. Woman.
When you make a decision to end your marriage and to end your fairy tale, there are consequences, and some of that is that things won't be perfect and beautiful and exactly as they were. They'll be different. You have to make like an educated guess that, okay, I understand that it's going to be different, but I'm still making that choice. But you have no way of knowing how it's going to be until you're in it. So now I'm in it. So I'm going upstairs now, try to make it cute with my mismatched shit, my mismatched glasses, and it'll be fine, right? I miss my backyard.
She said she knew that after the divorce, things won't be perfect and beautiful. Now tell me, my lions, what kind of woman files for divorce when she has a perfect and beautiful marriage? That does not make one lick of sense. Now, let's hear why she divorced this month.
So, let's talk about it. I was married for 24 years. I got married when I was 27. I was the one who initiated the divorce, but it ended amicably. My ex and I are still very good friends. A lot of men are pissed. A lot of men are really mad. And the comments were, wow, he put up with that for 24 years and grass isn't always greener, and just really eviscerating me. They're pissed. If enough people had that reaction, there must be something there and something for me to think about. I also tried really fucking hard. I did everything imaginable, everything that you could think of. All the things. I was a great, great, great wife. That I didn't just leave a great man. That's not what happened here. I ended a marriage with a wonderful man who was not for me anymore. And for all of you guys that are saying all these mean things to me, what would the alternative have been? Suck it up and be happy? If I could have been happy in my marriage, I would have stayed in that in a heartbeat. I wouldn't wish divorce on anyone. And I would say that if there's a way to work it out, try. And just know that I tried everything. If your friend told you, I'm really, really, really deeply unhappy and I've tried therapy and I've tried couples therapy and I've tried this and I've tried that and I've given it time and I've had the conversations and I've had another conversation and I've talked to my family and I've talked to my friends and I've done all the things and I'm still deeply unhappy, what would you tell that friend? What did you want me to do? That's my question. What did you want me to do?
Basically, she was no longer happy in the marriage. She didn't say her husband, or rather her ex-husband, was doing bad things to her, just that she was not happy. Many a woman get married with no initial pre-marriage counseling and believe that their husband is supposed to make them happy. Listen, as a married lion, let me tell you, your husband or wife cannot make you happy. You can be happy together and find joy in the relationship, but your spouse cannot make you happy. This is a common lie you hear about marriages, which can result in failure if you are out here expecting that from your husband or your wife. Look at it this way, my lions. If you buy a brand new car, you remember the excitement you feel and you get entertained with this car, which you might think is happiness, but that's not happiness. After a while, what happens? You no longer get excited about the car anymore, you get used to it, and therefore you return to your prior state of being. That, my lion, is how marriage is. Initial excitement, and later it wears off and you go back to what you were before the marriage. Seeing all the problems, all the issues you have with the husband or your wife, I know right there for you to see. What are you going to do? Run or fix them? Again, happiness does not come from your spouse. Happiness is put into the marriage by the spouses.
Divorce is really hard. I thought I could talk about this. I didn't realize how raw it was. And I did not expect fucking having a New York City office that I'm commuting into to stir up all of these feelings. I thought I was so past this. I moved out 2 years ago. I'm not.
2 years into the divorce and she still hasn't gotten over it. It ain't easy in these streets, my lady. It's not easy in the streets, especially after leaving a good man.
I had a whole wall in our house of family portraits. And not in a corny, horrible way, in a cool way. I had great pictures. And, I only kept the ones of my son, right? And this is one of them. And it's, wait, let me give you a better version. My son when he was 8, probably. And we were decorating for Christmas. And I remember how lonely I would feel every Christmas. But then I look at this picture. I'm like, oh, that was our mirror. And I remember when we bought it. I remember when we bought those sofas, or when we installed those light fixtures. I remember the painting that was right above them, like the stuff in the background. Like you put together a life with someone, right? And you think you're going to be with them forever. And that's your plan. And you go into it fully, earnestly, thinking you're going to be with them forever. And then you're not. I took that of my son on a vacation. I think I was still trying, but unhappy, but trying. It's sad. No one gets married thinking they're going to get divorced. You know, right? What is it? Half of all marriages, or like how many marriages actually end in divorce? Like so many, right? So it's almost like rare that you want to be with someone forever. So if you have that, like, oh, that's so fucking awesome. If you don't have it, and you're fighting for it, and then you just can't get there, and then it ends, and then it just feels so awful. I'm like, I'm the one who ended it. This was my choice. I have this, in my apartment, this is all my stuff. This is my choice. You don't expect it to hurt 2 years later.
This woman believed that there is something better out here. At 53 years old, in New York City. I would not hold my breath, my lady. Good luck to you, though. Now let's hear some of the things her husband had to say about her.
But there was something about like being in a room with a stranger, talking about my husband and me and about our relationship, and it felt so raw and vulnerable and exposed. He did point out dynamics that I wasn't aware of. For example, if my ex would compliment me or say something good about me, my immediate reaction was to downplay it, whatever the good thing about myself was, and to try to boost him up. I don't know what that was about. Obviously, that says something more about me than about him. He also told me that I reminded him of a Saturday Night Live character played by Kenan Thompson, like some character where he was always like, fix it, fix it. And that is me in a lot of ways, where my thing is like, we can fix anything. There's always a solution, which is also probably why it's uncomfortable for me to try to figure out what went wrong in my marriage, because it's also like, well, I couldn't fix it. Fixing implies something's broken and that, okay, it's fixed, now it's fine, and that's unrealistic. At the time, I had this fix-it mentality.
You know what? I am not believing everything she's saying here. When the husband gave her compliments, I think she probably did downplay them and said words that caused him pain. I don't believe she was boosting that man up. In addition, she probably expected him to fix all the problems because she thought he was the one causing all the problems, so therefore he should fix all the problems. She was perfect. This type of dynamic I have seen in a few relationships and marriages over the years. Guess what, my lions? She is now in these streets, hitting up the dating apps. One of the worst things you could do if you are looking for a meaningful relationship. You know, all she will find are men only willing to clap them half-century-old cheeks.
This is the part 2 of Paul, the disgusting 57-year-old man that I matched with. Nothing against being 57, but this man was a troll. I'm 53. It tells me this story again. This is within maybe like an hour, a little over an hour. So, and then he tells me the most disgusting story ever about this daughter of their best friends. So how like when you're best friends with another couple and you get to know their kids all the way from like when they're born all the way through middle school, high school, college, the whole thing. Like, and those kids almost become like they're your kids. You know where I'm going with this. So he ends up sleeping with the daughter. She's in her early 20s. He drives up with her to this lake house that he mentioned before and has sex with her. And she's still in the mix. She lives in Chicago. And he's like, yeah, we're still good friends. She's actually the one who recommended and really strongly encouraged me to get divorced. That friendship and that relationship is destroyed because the mother found out, because she found texts on the iPad or something. So the sister found them. The mom found out. Everyone was hysterical, crying. Nobody's friends anymore. And he's still fucking this girl. She lives in Chicago. I'm telling you that for a reason. And I go into the restroom and I'm like, this is the worst date this is one of the worst humans I've ever met. I can't climb out the window. My jacket's still at the table. And also I want dessert and maybe like one more espresso martini. Don't judge me. You deserved it. So I sit back down and I'm like, come on, like you're super handsome. Like you have to be dating other people. There have to be some other people in the mix. And he's like, well, yeah. And he proceeds to take out, it's a simple yes or no. But he proceeds to take out his phone and show me a video of this beautiful 24-year-old girl, like eating her lunch and playing music. And it was an adorable video if she's sending it to like her 24-year-old boyfriend, not to 57-year-old Paul. 57, he's 57. So I was like, oh, she's beautiful. Do you see her a lot? And he's like, yeah, I see her like 3 or 4 times a week. And then he tells me we don't have sex, but we do everything else. I didn't ask you any of this, sir. I just asked who else you're dating.
She goes on and on about this man and all the things that he did that were terrible to her. Is anyone going to tell her? Are you going to tell her, my lions, that Paul is the type of man she will be coming across in the foreseeable future on this dating app, whether it's Hinge or Tinder? My lions, don't forget to like up the video and subscribe to the channel. See? Hold tight. We're gone again.